Hi, I'm Sharon Stevens, and I'm from Cathedral City, California. I bought a small home in a small gated community in 1996 in Cathedral City and was very happy but uninformed really of exactly how a homeowners association is run. When a drug dealer and his mother as renters moved across the street from me and my daughter, an 8-year-old grandson, in our small gated homeowners association, I knew I needed to act as a responsible homeowner to stop what was obviously going to be a terribly, terribly dangerous situation in the future. All of the aspects were there with the coming and going of cars. They were behaving in a very threatening way to my family and to other people. But I was not prepared for the consequences, not only from the drug house, but from the apathy of my neighbors and board members, who it turned out had a member who was related to the drug family. When I called the police, they asked me to take down license plate numbers and turn them in. Almost every night, I watched on the local news when the very cars I had turned in were involved in drug busts. Then I complained about the police not giving me protection when one of the drug people caught me copying license and threatened my life. I found myself on some sort of a police blacklist and could not get any help when I called them. The mother in the family said I pulled a gun on her and the police arrested me without any proof. I went into court and in a jury trial won against that charge because they lied so much in court. Deputy Archie Wong left his position with the district attorney as a result. But from that time onward, I could not receive any help from the district attorney's office and the assistant district attorney, Sue Stedding. When I was called to an appointment in the police station over the false arrest, I went and met with Captain Connor and Sergeant Chuck Robinson, but told them I had a meeting next door with Assemblywoman Bonnie Garcia, could only give them a small amount of time. And then I went over to the Assemblywoman's office and met and talked with her aide about the problems in my homeowners association. I did not talk about the police problems per se. A few days later, I was told by Assemblywoman's aide, Mary Burrell, that 2 police officers had come over the same day I was there and told her I was a crazy troublemaker and was only out to make more trouble for them. Miss Burrell told me she then had me put on a terrorist threat list in Sacramento and that I could never contact the Assemblywoman office again. I immediately called the chief of police, Stan Henry, who, as a side note, had been sued by his own men for civil rights violations, and the men won against him. I told him I wanted an investigation. There was no investigation. I didn't know then, but discovered 6 months later that on the same day I went to the police station, they had their city attorney start an investigation to get a restraining order and had racked up legal fees of $65,000. The 65-page investigation that is now in the court record proved I had done nothing to warrant a restraining order, but it did also prove the conspiracy that the police, the city, had begun with Deputy District Attorney's Office, my homeowners association board members, Assemblywoman Bonnie Garcia, and journalist Cindy Yukin at the local newspaper, who wrote 2 scathing articles against me filled with provable lies. Bonnie Garcia had now filed for 8 restraining orders. My homeowners board had filed for 5 restraining orders. They also filed against me as a vexatious litigant for filing against them for my restraining orders that were not granted to me, even though I was hit while on foot by one of them related to the drug family, provably kicked by another, and constantly harassed. They made my life and my family's life unbearable. The The board members all ganged up on me and went into court to defend each other against me. They were given restraining orders. Even though I had been the victim, judges repeatedly ignored the law and gave them restraining orders. The Cathedral City had filed with 4 officers headed by Sergeant Robinson for a restraining order. The officer that I had talked with before I went over to Miss Garcia's office. When I went into court to have one of the void orders dismissed, provably void order, I was unlawfully arrested by the district attorney investigator for speaking to a board member who was waiting to go in, and I was charged with a hate crime. I was handcuffed and led through the hall to Judge B.J. Bajork, who had me incarcerated right there. And when I protested that the court appearance was over a void order, his only words were, "You better hope it is void." This day began a year-long incarceration in solitary confinement. And my public defender, I had 4 of them, but this one, Melanie Rowe, the last one, who was working on a murder case, told me she had no time to even meet with me one time, and she never did. And she sent me to Patton State Hospital as not court competent. Keep in mind that I had won against a jury trial when I was accused of brandishing a weapon. During this time, the city attorney met, the Cathedral City attorney met with and intimidated and threatened my daughter to sell them our home to pay for the legal fees of $65,000. I could do nothing in jail to fight this. We lost everything. I was coerced, plead guilty, or go to prison for 5 years. So at 86 years old, I found myself living in my car for over a year. At 68 years old, not 86. Once out, I was able to begin to study the law and came across a motion that was filed by Dr. Richard Fine. Using his same legal arguments, I filed a motion against Judge B.J. Bajork for the void on the face judgment. I wanted my name cleared. The district attorney ignored my motion and did not answer it. When we went into court, the judge said he would need to look at the law. I found out later that as soon as I left the court, he found in favor of the district attorney to continue my bogus probation. Keep in mind that if somebody does not answer a motion within or before 5 days of going into court, they lose, and I should have won. I should have won. I know this because I used the same legal argument in a San Bernardino court and had a judge, Shalis Shabbat, removed off my case for having no jurisdiction. Same legal motion, and the district attorney did not answer it. He found in favor of the district attorney and said that there was argument in the minute order. There was no argument, and the transcripts proved it. With no response from the district attorney by law, I ought to have been granted the motion. I complained to the presiding Judge Elworth. She has never answered my complaint regarding that judge and the fact that he lied and the fact that he ignored the law. Next week, I will be submitting motions again against B.J. Bajork and against Cathedral City to clear my name and to retrieve the money they stole from me and my family. They stole my life and my reputation. I should be able to have some sort of peaceful old age retirement.